Just a minute. Okay, folks, welcome everybody. And I'm just getting ready to go right now. Good morning. Welcome to the Natural Gas Storage Report. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all trades are for educational purposes, and it is possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully. And we are looking to trade natural gas this morning. So we're going to get set up. I want to welcome everybody on YouTube and thank you for coming to watch us. Hit the notification bell and sign up for our channel so you get notified each time we're going to be here. And we're going to take a look at some natural gas videos. Give me half a second to do it. And we'll get set up right away. Okay. Let's take a look at the report to see what the setup is for natural gas. So the natural gas storage report, let's take a look at last week. It says we got stopped out. So it's a 10:30 report that takes place most Thursdays. So it never quite made it to the first target. Did a very fast reversal. So that's what a stop out looks like. Very normal stop out. It just didn't go far enough. And one of the issues might have been was the news that was expected was 21 billion of storage. It was 20 billion, which is pretty close. And natural gas has been a little bit tricky in terms of the way it's been responding to the offset. The offset is the difference between the expected news result and the actual result. So that was not a big offset. It was pretty small. There was a little bit less gas used than expected. So maybe the price would go up because there was, sorry, a little bit less used would make the price go down. It means there's a little more gas around. but it was not a dramatic difference. So that's possibly why the result was kind of choppy and didn't really follow through in the first minute. Then if you look at the 1st of April, let's see if this is not my video, so hopefully it works. It's 10:30 we're looking for. Okay, so there's the bracket. It's going to show up now. And it just goes right through and shoots up. So that was hit our target of 8 ticks for winning trade. Then in March 25th, take a look. So March 25th, let's see what the result was here. And that one, there was a much bigger drawdown than expected, which would generally push the price upwards. That's exactly what it did. And that was a profitable trade. Let's look at March 18th. And March 18th reversed, was not a winner. Let's look at what was the target on the 18th. The fill was 29. The target was 8 ticks. It got 7 ticks. Missed by 1 tick. Now, when you trade 2 contracts on the DMM, your first target is 5. Your second target is 8. The interesting thing is that natural gas has been moving. It's been moving pretty well. When it moves properly, it seems like you can get 5 ticks and 10 ticks without a huge problem. So that one is called a winner because it hit the 5-tick target. Let's see, did it give you enough time to get out though with a profit if you tried? In other words, was there time to get the profit, or did it reverse so fast? So it hits the target. It was pretty fast. If it goes back down, see what I mean about that's not easy to get your profit. You'd have to be thinking instantly to take your profit right there, well before it flips back on you. So, you could say that was not a winner. You could. depending how you're really looking at it, I would not necessarily call that a winner. March 11th, if you can't get out fast enough to get your profit, then you may not have a winning trade. So what did I say this was? This was March 11th. That shot straight down, gave us our target, and then some if you were in multiple contracts. But it had trouble. It was so fast that the stop was difficult to place the stop, which sometimes can happen in a super fast trade. But that reduced, definitely gave us 8 ticks. Let's look at March 4th. February had a rough spell with gas. Definitely went through. Remember, we had 3 stops in a row, and then it started trading well again. So here's March 4th. And March 4th was an 8 tick profit. So that traded well. So the setup on natural gas, I checked the volume this morning by going to new market analyzer, and then it brings up a template that I created. Brian helped me with also by adding the days till rollover. So I load my little daily volume template, and it has instrument, daily volume, days until rollover. Right click, and you can add your instrument, natural gas 521. And the next contract coming up will be natural gas 621. So there's a lot more volume on 5. It doesn't roll over for another 5 days. This is very handy for AMP customers, clients that are being cleared by AMP. AMP sometimes, not sometimes, but generally, AMP does not allow you to trade the current contract 5 days prior to rollover. So this is a way that you can test your chart to make sure, like yesterday, oil was very close to rollover, and you couldn't trade the 5 contract. You had to trade 6. If you were an AMP clearing customer, if AMP is your clearing broker, they changed their risk management rules. We talk about this all the time in the trade room. When the oil futures went negative, lots of things changed at AMP. They wouldn't let you trade oil for a couple of weeks after that, and when they brought oil futures trading back, their risk rules were changed, and the contract that they allow you to trade was changed also. Okay. So let's check our time. How do we check our time? We go to a website called time.is and we check to make sure our computer is in sync. Click on time.is. Time is exact. That's what you want to see. If it's not exact, then we have other tools. Good morning, KT. We have other tools that help us to trade and get in sync if our time is not in sync. In fact, one of the tools is inside of our trade room file folder. At the top of the trade room software is a taskbar, and inside the room drive is a program called D4 Time that will help you to put your computer in sync if you cannot put it in sync using the website time.is. It's just a little program. You click sync now and it will help to keep your computer in sync. For trading events, you want to be able to be in proper time sync. It's important. Okay, so I'm going to trade my normal 8 tick, looking for an 8 tick profit on natural gas. Natural gas has a bracket of 5. The stop is 15. And I'm going to look for a target of 8. Entry time is 10:29:59 for the 10:30 report. And 29:59. So I've got a bracket of 5. I'm looking for one position with a target of 8 ticks. It's pretty much the way we've been trading it every week. And then I have to make sure my account is on the right account. I like to label the trade natural gas port. So one more time, my setup. Let me record this. Okay, so our bracket is 5 ticks. We're trading one position, looking for 8 ticks. Stop is 15. Entry time is 10:29:59. It's a breakout trade. Apply it and okay it. Put my charts on live. I'm up $20 from last night's Australia jobs report. And that was a choppy little report last night. A couple people made 6 ticks. I think 6 ticks was the maximum somebody was able to make last night. It was very choppy. It was a good, I think the result was good. Lots of jobs created for the second month in a row, I believe, on Australia jobs. So one more time, how do you put your computer in sync? By going to the website time.is, click on it, and it tells me that my computer is in sync. The one thing I like to do is set my natural gas to, you could either set it to ticks or points. I use an indicator called Net Change Display. It's part of NinjaTrader 8. So if I put natural gas on ticks, it's 10 ticks to a point. Natural gas is kind of dull right now. Down 5 ticks roughly from 6 p.m. last night. If you look at like a 30-minute chart, since yesterday, natural gas dropped and it's pretty much back where it was. So it's interesting, even though it's a tiny bit down right now, it's trending up since 8 o'clock this morning. So Mark, I know you don't trade natural gas. Do you consider that an uptrend? I guess that I would, because it's been trending up since 8 o'clock. So right now we're in an uptrend, definitely. That's a great question. Natural gas opens, I'm going to bluff here. I think it opens at 9 a.m., Mark, with oil. But I would check that. I would check it to be certain. If somebody knows for sure, I think it's 9 o'clock with oil. There was one trade that we had on our schedule that I've wanted to look at. I didn't look at it yet. Did anybody watch the New Zealand rate statement? That's true. There really are no more real. When they did away with the pits, they kind of changed all the opening trades over time, started changing, which is what Fred is saying. There are no more real opens, only perceived from the past. Although you could say that the ES still has a pit, bonds still have a pit, Fred. And, you know, there's a couple of opens that I think are strong that still, you could say, have opening trades. Gold at 820, bonds at 820. And, you know, the ES and the market open, that's a different ball game. But I'd say that the gold open at 820 is kind of an open. The bond open at 820 is also an open that people have opening trades for. Even the 9 o'clock oil open, I don't think people have given up on those trades. Some of those market, quote unquote, market open trades. So there's a lot of folks watching on YouTube. Thank you for coming, and why not subscribe to our channel so you'll know the next time we're here streaming. Hit the notification bell so you know and you get notified, and give us a like, because YouTube loves it when you give streamers a like or a dislike if you don't like what we do. But I think a like is a nice thing to do. I belong to a lot of YouTube channels. So it's my daughter's birthday today. Gonna go away Saturday, spend the day for her birthday. So anybody trading with me? Anybody in here? I know natural gas, lots of people don't like trading it. Mike, you're in. Mike, what are your targets? Do you use 5 and 8? 5 and 12? All right, got about a minute and a half to go. That's only 5 ticks. See, if your chart's a spread, you can scare yourself, right? Natural gas often pays attention to its news result. Nothing isn't always, but it often does. All right, we got about 30 seconds. Always nerve-wracking. All the trading we do is nerve-wracking. There's no way around that. We trade in a nerve-wracking manner, don't we? So it hit the first target. It did not, Mike. I think it did not hit your second target yet. It's a there's less gas used than expected. Less used. So it caused a jolt up. Right, Mike. It only that was a target one trade, because now it might hit the second. But what Mike does, Mike, do you automate your and I'd love if you send me your picture. Do you automate your stop move to break even? I would think you have to, because otherwise, how would you be able to get your stop moved manually? Wow, Mike. Now, you should practice. I don't want to get you in trouble. Um, Sometimes automation, first of all, YouTube folks, you got to love what you just saw. I have left so much money on the table this week We've had a profitable week. I didn't trade this morning. It was profitable, our setup. I didn't trade yesterday. Our setup was profitable. Um, I'm ultra conservative because I know people are following me. So I'm very, 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 very ultra conservative. Um, but we had an awesome day the day before yesterday. Natural gas, there was a big drawdown compared to what they expected, 6 billion. So it pulled the price up, and that's why the trade worked today. So we exactly traded our plan and exactly hit our plan. I'll be honest, I'm superstitious. I was going to add, Mike, don't, I'm going to tell you, I hope you don't have to run yet. Uh, but I just wanted to show you, you probably know, I'm superstitious. I was going to put 2 contracts on today because we got stopped out last week. But because I'm superstitious and I left such good trades behind and didn't take them, I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm getting stopped out on natural gas 100% today because every trade I didn't take was a winner. But let's be honest, folks, things are working right now because you notice how all of a sudden trades have been working. But trades have been working. You go through cycles, go through periods. Sometimes you can't do any wrong. You can't do no wrong, they say. Now, there is a theoretical short signal on the 30-second natural gas squeeze, the way we use our short signals. Now, I use a 10 momentum. Fred uses a 12. So just, I don't want Fred to be confused if he's really trading. You do want to be a little bit careful because it was a big drawdown. So natural gas might struggle to reverse. In other words, there's a very big difference between what was expected and what actually was returned as the value. 67 billion in storage was expected, but 61 was there, less than expected. So that puts upward price pressure. There was an upward trend when we got here, but was not uh, out of the to the moon upward. But it was a strong upward price pressure because natural gas had gone down quite a bit overnight, and then it started moving up early in the morning. So there was upward pressure also in terms of the trend. But what I was going to tell Mike is our software, and he probably knows this, our strategy has the capability, if you take a trade, you can move the stop automatically. If your first target is hit, it's called target one stop move. And if you just type in break even, it will move your stop automatically to break even. Now, just so you know, because the way you're doing it is working for you, Mike, so you don't necessarily need to change. Sometimes when a trade is so fast, automation will create a stop error because you can't get the software can't keep up with the move. Let's look at the video. Today was pretty fast. I think the stop move would have been fine though. Today it has to be so fast that trades are troublesome, and I don't think today was a troublesome trade. I think it was just a normal natural gas quick trade. There's something else, Mike, that you can experiment with. Let's take a quick look at the video. The reason I want to take a quick look at the video is just to see if we can judge the speed. It's always nice. I mean, you can't ever complain when your plan is met. When a plan is met, it means that you're doing something right. So I just want to find the video. My software, I don't know where in heaven's name it's putting my natural gas. All my trades are going into a crazy folder. So here's the natural gas trade this morning. Our plan was 8 ticks. That's exactly what we got. And I could tell, I know Mike trades 2 contracts on natural gas. And I knew, and even though Look at how difficult natural gas can be. It actually goes through my target before it fills it. Let me see if I can stop it. Because natural gas is not a high liquidity instrument. You see how it's through the target? Let me see. It's through the target and it's not filled. It's not filled. It went through the target. You can actually have a losing trade on natural gas, even if it hits your target. And it's very important to understand risk. Okay. Very important. So you must understand if you're going to trade natural gas, you can have a perfect trade and it could still go against you. And it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating. Okay. Oh, so it hit your 8. Mike, did it fill you? I would think it filled your 8 eventually. If you traded 5 and 8, because it did a big burst up and then it did a secondary burst also before it pulled back. So, Mike, what I was saying is and you can do target 2. See how there's a struggle to reverse, though, because I believe because of the news result, you can do a target 2 stop move also. If you don't want to move your target unless target 2 is hit, right? You've got target 2 stop move, and you could move that to break even. We also have a very unused feature of the software: break even trigger ticks, break even profit ticks. These are things you can practice with in sim. If the market moves 10 ticks in your direction, don't take the profit, just move the stop 5 ticks above break even. Stop loss to entry plus these amount of ticks. So if you want to go break even plus 1, if the market moves 10 ticks in your direction, it will not take your profit, because maybe you have a profit of 20 ticks. And if the market moves 10, you might want to move your stop to break even plus 1 tick. I found this feature a little bit confusing, and that's why we added the target 1 stop move and the target 2 stop move, which is very clear and simple. If price hits target 1, move your stop, and the syntax is just break even plus 1, break even minus 2. It can be lowercase also. And you can do that if you hit target 1 or target 2. The only downside, whenever you automate, automation always has a downside in event trading, because sometimes you can trade so fast, it might lose track of where the stop is and screw up a trade. So on super fast trades, I generally do what Mike does. I try to move my stop manually. Or if I'm trading just one target, the break even button is the better way to do it, because the break even button is quick and simple, and the break even button appears up here on the top of the chart when you're in a trade, when a trade's enabled. The break even button will only work when the trade is positive. Okay? If you're negative, you can't use the break even button. It may be that I had the programmer change it to break even plus 1, Mike, actually. I believe I had him change that break even button to break even plus 1. Does that affect where it sets the break even when you hit the button? You probably don't want to do multiple button break evens. You know what I mean? You want to do one or the other because you can really get screwed up unless things are slow and you haven't moved to break even. In other words, the break even button, you don't want to use the break even button if you're also using stop moves to set the break even. I would say it's smarter to use one or the other. I mean, break even is break even. Break even value doesn't change. Break even is your entry. You know, it's where the trade got entered. That doesn't change. But the break even button is now setting. I forgot that I had it changed to break even plus one. I didn't want it to be break even because, you know, break even is really not true. If you don't get that plus one, then if you get the plus one, you pay for some of your expenses, sometimes all your expenses on a trade if you only get to break even. Okay. All right, folks. So a nice little winner on natural gas. Chantal, are you here still? I wanted to talk to you about tomorrow's testing, but I have to go out for a little bit. What time would be a good time for you today? Okay, so I'll text you when I get free. So thanks everybody on YouTube. Give us a like, sign up for the channel, hit the notification button, and you'll know when we're streaming tomorrow. Okay? All right, folks. Any questions? I don't see any questions. So a nice little natural gas trade. Natural gas has since February when it had that bad little stretch, seems to be behaving again. So that's a good thing. Okay. It's definitely behaving. I think it's trading better than oil. Oil's been harder to trade. Oil's been choppier. Okay. So we're done for the day. Tomorrow's schedule is 8 o'clock for building permits. At 8 o'clock, and then we have preliminary University of Michigan consumer and inflation. So that's at 9:30. So two rooms tomorrow. Okay. So I'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day. See you later.